And in fact is, look, I was the governor here of the only blue state that's represented up here. This is where the fight is
you were a
really tough
lousy
for
one.
Republicans. And those are the states that we're going to have to try to win if we're going to win the White House back.
We're not going to
And
win
what we
blue
did
states,
is
pal.
14 times, Dana, in 8 years,
Where are you
I
living?
vetoed Planned Parenthood funding. 14 times.
Okay,
No one
big
else
deal.
gets it that much. The Democrats just kept sending it to me.
Did
and
you
I
ever
kept saying
introduce a
no
law
because
to
I
end
believe
abortion?
in life, but I also believe in states' rights. And I think we fought hard against Roe versus Wade for decades to say that states should make these decisions. So we're going to have those fights in the states. But what you need is a leader who can talk to people and make them understand that if you're pro-life, you have to be pro-life for the entire life, not just the 9 months in the womb.
Oh, okay.
And we
Let's
talked
water
a lot
things
about
down.
fentanyl tonight, and we haven't spoken one moment about treatment. But we need to make sure that for the
tells you how much he
drug-addicted
cares about
16-year-old on the
abortion.
floor of the county lockup, her life is precious too. And we need to be providing treatment to cure this as a disease that it is. If you're pro-life, you got to be pro-life for the entire life. We start talking like that, they're going to do what I did in the blue state, which was get reelected with 61% of the vote and won 70% of independents and 51% of Latinos because I told them the truth from my heart.
Thank you.
Oh, this guy is so full of crap. I'm sorry. First of all, we're not in the 1980s, Chris, where you got elected in a blue state. That doesn't happen anymore. Republicans are never going to get elected in blue states like New Jersey, number one. Number two, why didn't you try to ban abortion in your state? Trying to end Planned Parenthood funding is fine, but that is not the standard for pro-life, friend. It's just not. And then when you say states' rights, that's just trying to pass the buck from the federal end of things and saying that we believe in states' rights on abortions. That's like saying we believe in states' rights on slavery. That isn't a solution to have this patchwork of pro-abortion states and anti-abortion states. How's that going to work out long term? That violates equal protection. We can't have it. We're going to have to have a federal answer for abortion, Chris, and you're just passing the buck to the states. And then finally, when he says we need to be pro-life for the whole life or entire life. Sounds good. Good soundbite. Nice, Chris. But the truth is, we don't hold that standard for any other issue other than abortion. And why is it the Republicans are saying we need to not just focus on abortion, we need to think about all the issues of so-called life, which are important, of course. Why do we dilute our message? Why can't abortion be enough? Think about it. If we believe, and Christie must not, if we believe abortion intentionally takes the life of an innocent human being over 2,000 times a year, a day, 2,600 times a day, that's enough to focus our energies on. We can't just say, oh, that's equal to what he talked about, fentanyl coming over the border. It's just not. We've had 65 million children killed since 1973. So it's an impossible standard that Christie wants to hold the pro-life movement to, that we don't hold to hold other organizations that might fight, say, like cancer, the American Cancer Society. We don't say the American Cancer Society, you have to also combat COVID. We don't do that. We don't tell Planned Parenthood that they need to be for the minimum wage. No, we don't do that. We hold the pro-life movement an entirely different standard. It's not fair. We don't do it for anyone else. And why is it the pro-lifers are doing that? It's enough that we fight abortion. We cannot take on every single social issue. We have limited resources, and abortion is egregious enough that we should fight it with all of our might. And it's okay to be a single issue voter because abortion is a fundamental injustice against humanity, violates equal protection, takes the life of an image bearer of God, and it's foundational to our republic because in our Declaration of Independence, our founders said, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal and endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. And among those rights are the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. There's a reason why our founders listed the right to life as first and foremost, as foundational for all of our rights. So, Chris, you're wrong. It's fine to fight fentanyl and all the other issues, social ills in our nation, but you cannot put them on an equal ground with abortion. You just can't. And pro-lifers need to not do that. It's enough that we fight abortion. Chris Christie is not pro-life in the sense that we understand it. If he were, he would have introduced a bill to end abortion in New Jersey, even though it's a blue state. He would have also said in this case that it's enough that we make pro-life or anti-abortion a preeminent issue of our day, and it needs to be solved not by the states, but eventually by the federal government.